Welcome to the Mike Peluso Outdoors here on URLradio.net. The more hits we play, the more hits we get. This week's show is going to be an interesting one, folks. We're talking a little bit about the AIM Weekend Walleye Series. We just finished up our final event up on Devil's Lake, North Dakota here. Really a cool system. If you haven't been involved with this or looked at this, take a look at it. It's AIM Walleye. You'll find it all over the internet. What this is a catch, photo, and record. So they do all kinds of different things as far as documenting your fish. And what's really nice about this format, ladies and gentlemen, is that it's so resource friendly. It absolutely is one of the finest events I've ever seen, I've ever been a part of. I did a lot of this stuff in my early days when we used to run the Walleye Wizards Fishing League, or when I used to run it or started it. That was kind of our format as well, and it's been refined over the years, of course, and people have gotten, or actually the AIM Walleye Series has gotten a little bit better at refining this. But basically, you get out there, you catch your fish, you take a picture of your fish on a ruler, you take a hero shot, you release the fish, you document it on your scorecard, and you just continue to do this throughout the course of the day, and you're trying to catch your 5 largest fish for the end of the day to put on your card, and then you calculate the inches on a conversion scale to weight, and circle it and hand it in. And then, of course, they go through all the pictures after the tournament is done and make sure everybody's being honest and measuring their fish correctly and going through the proper steps to do it right. And I'll tell you what a great system. It takes you roughly a minute and a half to record a fish. Once it's back in the water, you got no more worries about it. You don't have to worry about keeping it alive in your live well, carrying the fish across a rough lake if the winds and stuff get really bad. Just so, again, resource friendly. And I think what happens is most folks are a little bit intimidated with the format to begin with. And after you do it once, it's just second nature, and it comes so easily. And looking back at these tournaments, we had one earlier on the Missouri River. We were able to, kind of get out of the elements and do our catch, photo, and record right there. And I'll tell you what, it's just so nice to be able to do this. And again, I can't stress enough, how easy this really is. The tournament so far this year, one was on the Missouri River, like I said just a second ago, early spring. We had one on Lake Sakakawea about a month ago, and then we capped off the season, the regular season basically, on Devil's Lake. And now we're sitting here, we gotta wait a little bit for the first week of August to have the state championship, where 22 teams have qualified for that this year. So we're going to throw all our, everything at it there to hopefully become the very first North Dakota state champ, which would be kind of cool. And it looks like, just doing the rough math right now, my partner and I, Jeff Ensminger, we will possibly take the Team of the Year honors right now. So we're just kind of waiting to see. They do things, officially. They go back through all these pictures and photos of these fish. They identify them. They make sure that people aren't taking a picture of the same fish over and over. Just little things like that, just to kind of make sure. So all the stuff you see early on is always unofficial. And then after they verified everything and gone through the whole process with a fine-tooth comb, they basically give you a call back and let everybody know that the official results are up and posted, and you kind of move on from there. So again, it's just so interesting, and I want to talk a little bit about it here, a little bit deeper into the program, why I just think that more anglers need to try and look this direction. I mean, the payouts have been really, really good, considering every tournament that's been held so far this year has grown just a little bit each and every time. It seems like the first event, people were a little hesitant getting into it. There was right around 44 somewhere in their teams. The next event had a few more. We were right around 50, and this Devil's Lake tournament had 56. So it's continuing to grow. A full field's considered 80. I believe an 80 boat field. I might be wrong, might be 100, but I want to say it was based on an 80 boat field. But again, the payouts, for a 50 boat field, I mean, the first place team's bringing home $4,500 roughly, and they pay down 7, 8, maybe 10 spots, again, depending on how many teams are fishing. So it's very angler friendly. For those of you that don't know, the AIM, basically the AIM everything was invented by the anglers themselves. These were all diehard fishermen I was kind of part of that group in the early days. I was slowly, heading back into the hockey industry at that time, so I wasn't able to invest into the AIM walleye stuff at that time. But again, it's an angler's owned company. I mean, these guys invested in it, and everybody's slowly but surely trying to build it. And now it's the grassroots level. It's guys like myself. It's the guys that are fishing it and promoting it and trying to grow it. And I love what I call the bar talk. You talk to a lot of folks that think they're pretty good and pretty special fishermen. They may even have a sponsor or two, but where are they? Where are these guys when you've got a professional weekend angling type tournament that's being brought to your state, and it's got a circuit where you're traveling around, you've got Team of the Year honors, you've got state champions, and the big picture here, and I haven't talked about it yet, is the national championship. We're trying to get 10 teams from North Dakota to fish against 10 teams from Minnesota, 10 teams from North Dakota, 10 teams from Michigan, 10 teams from Wisconsin. I mean, all these states have these AIM walleye series, and there's going to be one main event that's a big time one, huge. And where are all the guys that talk the big game? I've heard them all. I've sat and listened to them all. And it kind of makes me giggle when I don't see them in these events. I kind of actually in a lot of times kind of shake my head a little bit and giggle, because you'll hear and there's nothing wrong with fishing bar tournaments and club tournaments and stuff like that. But you know what? If you're gonna talk the walk, you gotta be able to get out there and bring it. You can't sing it and not bring it. That's one thing that I've learned. If I'm gonna open my mouth, I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is and pony up and go do it. And again, I just hope that after this season's over, a lot of guys take a real hard look at this and decide to get back on board with it and do it, because it's just so darn fun. It's so darn rewarding. It's just a very well run organization, and super excited that they were able to bring this thing here to North Dakota. And for all of us here in North Dakota that fish a lot and like to do tournaments, we really need to take a hard look at this and support this. So we're going to take a break right now. We're going to come back and just talk a little bit more about it. I want to make sure that once we put this out on YouTube and our podcast, that Stacy, the owner of URLradio.net, she's going to pull up some pictures off the AIM website and kind of show how the measuring process and the document with the cards and all that works, and it's just a super deal. So we're gonna break here real quick for our sponsors and make sure to let everybody take a look at them and support them, because again, without them the show wouldn't be possible. And we're gaining ground here each and every week. Every time we do this show, there's more and more people asking about it and listening to it and following it. So we're super excited about that. And again, this is the Mike Peluso Outdoorsman. We'll be right back.